Hey, Chris, what's up? This is Jeremy Velarde from episode 45 and the Create 01 Music and Art. We're having a benefit for Cindy Metcalf. She is a woman suffering with breast cancer right now. So we're going to have a Create 01 event at Five Monkeys on April 19th. It's a Friday night. The music starts at 9 p.m. We will have art from JLJ, Joey Velarde, Lance Everall, and Daniel Sharp-Mains. We'll have music from the Stevie T Review, Music Theory Dropouts, which is my new band, Nopium, and Bastard John. We will also do a raffle with original art, so you could walk away with a painting for $1. And the evening will be hosted by Brent Robinson, a very funny comedian. All money received from the raffle and the door will go to the benefit of Cindy. So if you play this on your podcast, I would appreciate it, and I appreciate all that you do for Salt Lake. Thanks, Chris. Bye.
Showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
As always, recording out of beautiful downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. Welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 59 of the I Am Salt Lake podcast. My name is Chris Hollifield. I am the host. Welcome to my show. IamSaltLake.com is the website for the podcast where you can find all the previous episodes. You can find all the contact information, all the links that you need to do to get in touch with me. I highly suggest, if you haven't listened to all the previous episodes, get on over to the website, do a little search, check out all the previous people that I've had on the podcast. If there is anybody that I've talked to that interests you, download an episode, take a listen, find out about somebody that is doing some really cool stuff here in Salt Lake City, because I have talked to a lot of really, really cool people in the Salt Lake City area that I believe are making a difference, making the city just a little bit better to live in. So check it out. Leave us a review in iTunes. There's links on there for iTunes. Really, really awesome for helping out the show and helping it get exposed to more people. Hey, you know, this episode is a really, really neat episode. I had a friend of mine, Kat Martin, the artist, Kat Martin, a longtime friend who I've been wanting to get on the podcast for quite a while. Finally was able to get her to come sit down and chat and talk about her art, talk about how she got into painting, the paintings that she paints. She gets the Bob Ross style paintings and then paints zombies, cartoon characters, Star Wars related stuff, geeky stuff, a lot of really neat stuff. I put all of her website and contact information on IamSaltLake.com/episode 59. That way you can get in touch with her and order some of her prints. I know she has them on Etsy, and like we bring up in the interview, she has them at Este Pizza. She has them all over Salt Lake, and she'll probably be at Farmers Market again this year. I know she did last year. She should be again this year. And again, we talk about it in the conversation, so I don't want to give away too much. I also, in the podcast, playing a favorite of mine by John Ross Boyce and His Troubles. I bought a rope. I believe I talked to him back in episode 9, back in the early days of the I Am Salt Lake podcast. Hopefully I can get those guys back on the show now that I figured this whole podcasting game out a little bit better, and we can have a much better conversation, kind of catch up with John Ross Boyce and His Troubles. But like I said, in the episode playing, I bought a rope, so you're going to want to check that out. And, yeah. So anyways, like I said, IamSaltLake.com is the website for the podcast. Let's jump right into that conversation that I had with Kat Martin. Close to 60 episodes, and I'm finally sitting down with you.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
You've been busy.
I've been really busy with the podcast, and just so many people that want to come on. You know, it's just hard to get everybody and
you could do this for a million years. There's a lot of interesting individuals in this town.
You want to get going?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. You know, it's funny because I mean we've been friends a long time.
Yeah,
so
years.
It's kind of like
we've seen each other in bad lights and good lights.
Sitting down with you is honestly going to be one of the most interesting conversations, in my opinion, just because it's like I already know so much about you.
Yeah.
So Why don't you just do the typical introduction, tell the listeners who you are and kind of what you do with your art.
Okay. I'm Kat Martin, and I'm a painter, and I currently do all kinds of arts, but the ones I do the festivals with, I'm in farmers market and stuff, is I take old landscapes, like Bob Ross style landscapes, and I paint stuff into them, like zombies or Star Wars stuff, or just basically anything that comes to my mind. I've done over 100 of them, so anything that entertains or delights me or anyone else. Doctor Who is a popular one, all sorts of stuff. It's fun.
So, and how long have you been doing that for?
That kind of art I've been doing, for at least 3 years, I think. Craft Lake City 2010, I believe, was the first time I debuted. And then I was like, whoa, people really like this. So I kept doing it. And
the response was pretty good then.
It was really good.
With what you...
It shocked me. I didn't realize that I was kind of not really into it as much. I mean, I love to paint, but I was like, I don't know, people really go for this stuff. And it was very... I made my head blow up when I was there. I was like, holy moly, I guess people do like it. So,
and before you were doing that kind of art with old paintings and stuff, I mean, you've always been into art, right? I mean,
yeah, my whole life I've been into art, and I still do this same kind of art. I do portraits and murals. And actually just yesterday I met with someone to do a logo of a bird for this local little consignment shop. It's just a painting. So I try decently to paint what I see. So that's why it translates into all sorts of things, because I can look at a picture of a stormtrooper and then paint him into an old painting, or I can look at a picture of my nephew and make a pastel portrait out of it. So
what's your favorite thing to paint or favorite thing to draw?
I like doing art for children a lot because it's very rewarding. It's never ever negative, and it's always overwhelmingly amazing for them. I really like doing murals a lot for kids' rooms because it just turns their normal room into like a little fantasy land.
What kind of murals have you done?
Well, I did like a castle, and I've done
are you talking about covering the whole wall?
I did a Yankee Stadium one. I did a little fairy tree for my neighbor, and just stuff like that. Just whatever people want.
So if somebody's listening, they can hire you to do a mural.
Did a Death Star on the wall once.
So if I wanted you to paint the city of Salt Lake in here, you could do it on on the walls.
I don't know if your landlord would like that.
They told me I can paint whatever I wanted in here, but I don't know. So you're self-taught though with art. You haven't taken any classes. Have you taken any classes?
I took
with art?
a bazillion classes in high school, and my high school art teacher actually also taught college. So, and I took AP art in high school, all through high school. So I want to say it was college level because it is AP, it's advanced placement. And I did take the AP art test, and I got a 4 the first year and a 5 the second year. But since she did also teach, she was a professor at the U, she treated our class like a college class. So I felt like, I didn't actually go to college for it. And I would love to one day, but I got more than the average high school kid would have, And then, practice kind of stuff.
Do you think people are born an artist, or do you think you develop the skill, or a little bit of everything?
It's hard to say because I feel like I was born an artist, but I had friends in high school who never even took art until they're like a junior. And then all of a sudden they're like, whoa, I'm good at this. And then by their senior year, they were like winning awards and stuff. So I think, obviously anyone can be an artist in any kind of capacity, not just painting and drawing, but it's something that if you like, you should try, try it out.
What do you think the best thing about being an artist is? What do you enjoy the most?
Just be able to make other people happy with what you do, Yeah. It's really cool to like see someone fall in love with a painting right in front of your eyes, and you're like, oh, I created that. That's really rad that means so much to you that you want to pay your hard-earned money for something that I made. It's really rewarding. That's the best part.
What about, okay, so on that note, the most discouraging or the worst part of being an artist?
Just, it's so subjective,
Yeah.
You're not going to please everybody, obviously. Obviously not everyone likes my art, and I'm not claiming to be the best at it. I've said so many times, like, any painter could kind of do what I'm doing. If you can decently paint, then you could probably paint something into a landscape like a Sasquatch or something. But it's just, it gets challenging sometimes when you get people blowing at you with negativity, but you got to have a thick skin.
Do you get a lot of negativity with what you do?
It's few and far between.
It would seem to me that
no.
Why would somebody be negative with what you're doing?
Just because I said, like, art is so subjective.
Yeah.
So, but most of the time it's all positive. I've met a lot of artists around the city, and like even just artists like Alex Pretty and things like that who aren't from here who are like, your stuff's rad. So it's always rewarding, like getting compliments from people who I know for a fact are better than me.
Yeah. So have growing up, you were interested in art. I mean, were your parents supportive of your of your artistic,
my mom
artistic
would
abilities?
I would be sketching in church, and she'd snatch my sketchbook and run up and show the person the picture I drew of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, that's not why I'm doing it. I don't want to brag about it. I'm just doing it to practice. And my dad is a mechanical engineer, so he does a lot of like he builds machines, so he does a lot of art that way.
Yeah.
He like drafts it all out, and then my mom is actually a beautiful painter, but she never ever does it. I wish she would. But I think I think because they were both interested in that kind of thing, I think I'm somewhat born with it and driven to that anyways, because we didn't have a whole lot of money. And so you can always get crayons for free.
So, I mean, you come from a big family, right?
Youngest
Correct?
of 8.
Youngest, I remember that now. Nice Mormon family.
Oh, yeah. They are awesome. I love my family. They're my best friends.
Does anybody else in your family paint, or are they artistic at all?
No.
I've never really gotten into that. We hang out a lot, but we never really talk about you being an artist. And
well, it's not like when you're drinking at a party, you're going to sit there and have a one-on-one.
I've always wanted to.
Well, this is why we're here.
No, so you're pretty much the most artistic or of any, I mean, and nobody else paints or draws or shows any kind of interest in it, huh?
No, my sisters kind of a little bit have dabbled, but nothing like me. They're all artistic in their own ways. They're smart in their own ways.
Yeah.
We all are very different in our
You guys
interests.
seem close. You guys
Very
seem close as a family.
Yeah, of course.
And that's a rarity. I think there's families that are close, and then there's families that aren't close.
Yeah.
So back to what you do with your art now. You'll get an old painting. You'll find it at like a local thrift store, the DI Savers,
Yard sales. People donate art to me a lot.
Okay.
They're like, "Oh, my grandma passed away, and they were going to get rid of all this art, and so I got it for you." Just that, I think I got 6 paintings just this week from people doing that. Is it like, I'd rather see what you do with it than see it end up at the DI.
So do you have like do you ever get a shortage of it? I mean,
No.
are you ever just like, oh my gosh, I have nothing to paint on, or is it more like I don't know what to paint on?
I have so many landscapes in my garage. Like there's been times where like, oh, I want to sell you some stuff. Maybe I'll get a deal. I'm like, I don't need anymore.
You don't need
I have
anymore.
so much stuff.
Yeah.
I actually haven't been to a thrift store in a long time because I can barely fit my car in my garage anymore because it's so piled up.
So the idea, Jimmy actually started the idea, right? Isn't that kind of how he told you, hey, he wanted you to paint something? Tell a little bit about that.
He went out and he bought a landscape and he wanted me to paint some zombies in it so he could put it in his man cave. And it was hanging in there for a good year or two, and every person who came in thought it was so rad, and they complimented him, and I was like, I still wasn't really that into it. And then we had to bring a white elephant gift to a slug party, actually, that local magazine Slug. And so I did an abominable snowman in this little painting, and it was the kind of game where you could trade the painting. Like if you picked a gift and you didn't like your gift, you could trade it for another gift. And they had traded it so many times that they finally had to be like, okay, no more. Like, we got to kill it. And Jimmy's like, holy shit. Like, people like your stuff, Kat. So for Christmas, he got me like 15 to 20 landscapes. He went all around these thrift stores and he's like, oh, like you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to be in a festival. You should try it for Craft Lake City.
So the first painting you actually gave as a gift, or I thought is it the painting that's in your kitchen now? Is it?
No, the zombie one is for him, and then I did an abominable snowman for the gift.
Okay. Sorry.
So then he basically did everything short of hold a gun to my head to like get me to apply it for Craft Lake City. He really, really pushed me into this genre because, like I said, I usually do portraits of babies and murals for kids and stuff, and cartoony stuff, and like super cutesy. And then all of a sudden, I'm like painting zombies and like bloody wampas and stuff. But yeah, like I said, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll try it out. And at Craft Lake City, I was just, whoa.
And back to Craft Lake, that was 2 years ago that you did?
I think it was 2010. Because
2010.
if I'm in this year, let's see, 12, 11, I think it was 2010. Yeah. Wasn't that the second one?
I think so. I think this is the 5th year, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, 2010.
And so he inspired you and kind of pushed you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of the stuff that you've painted, you're like, what the heck am I doing? I'm sure, right? I mean, you're not. Are you kind of up on all that geeky stuff?
I'm not. I've learned a lot from the fans. I've only seen one episode of Doctor Who. I'm sorry, fellow Whovians, but I love painting for you.
And I've never seen an episode myself, to be honest with you, either. So
I know a lot about it for never having really seen it because it's so popular. I really would like to get into it, but it's just hard to know where to start and which doctor to start with. And there's so many episodes, but it's a great show. But and it's a great seller. Those paintings I've done. David Tennant and I've done Matt Smith, and then I have a DeLorean crashing into a TARDIS. And when I painted the DeLorean TARDIS one, I didn't even know what a TARDIS was because it was just a custom for Gavin
Okay.
And I'm like, what is that? And I had to like Google it and everything. And now I'm very caught up on all that stuff.
So do you do a lot? You do a lot of custom orders then?
Not a ton. It just varies, when it rains it pours kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just barely finished a custom one for Brian Young of Big Shiny Robot. That's also a podcast.
Yeah.
And that was
what was it?
Some Ewoks roasting a stormtrooper.
So if somebody has a custom idea, they'll come to you, they'll present kind of what they want, and then you'll say, okay, I have a landscape that works for that, or do they give you a painting?
No, usually they'll tell me the price range, and they'll tell me what they want, and then we'll kind of work together, and I'll show them a couple of landscapes that I have, and they'll pick one, and then a lot of times I'll do a mock-up in Photoshop. I'm terrible at Photoshop, but I at least want to be like, okay, spatially, and for just so your eye is kind of so we're on the same plane. Because as an artist, I can see how it's going to look, but you can't really see that if you know.
And like as somebody like me, I would be like, well, shoot, I don't know. This is what I want, but I have no artistic ability.
Yeah. One time I did a swamp thing carrying a half naked man out of a lake for a guy. I did Prince sitting by a well and he was naked. That was weird, funny. The only thing I won't do is religious art.
Yeah.
I'm not religious anymore, but I just don't want to piss anyone off. I just want to make people laugh and smile,
No, I hear you. I'm kind of the same way.
Just what's the point? I don't see the point. I'm not going for that.
What's the worst custom order that you've ever had to do?
I don't even want to say.
You don't even want to say?
Well, I don't want to say because if they're listening, they're going to be sad.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I've liked all of them. Because I enjoy painting. I'm just happy that I'm getting paid to paint. So that's really the
when you're finished with a painting, when you sit back and you're finished and it's completely done. Describe that feeling. What?
Hell yeah!
Is that really? I mean,
pretty much, yeah. I'm like, especially if I like it, like if I have an idea and I'm like, okay, I'll see if this is gonna work. Let's put it in here, and then I step back and I'm like, that sharktopus looks rad. I did a good job. He looks like he's about to eat that ship. That's amazing. And a lot of times paintings that I'm like, I like this so much, I might just keep it. I said that about my Breaking Bad trailer one. I really, really like that. I kind of don't want to sell it.
Oh, I know. I remember.
The camper
that's
trailer.
that's a pretty new painting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I saw
week.
that because you just recently started watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
right?
I just finished the 5th season.
What do you think of it?
Last week? Amazing.
Isn't that a
I
great
cannot
show?
wait for it to start.
What took
again.
you so long to start watching it?
I don't know. Well, I wanted to watch it, but Jimmy started, and then when she starts, you can't stop, and he watched them all without me. So I finally was like, let's do this.
Yeah.
So.
And it was just a marathon.
I'm going to do some more, and I want to do Michonne from Walking Dead. I want to do The Princess Bride and Zelda. I mean, their possibilities are endless.
What's your all-time favorite? What do you have like an all-time favorite painting that you just?
It probably is Sharktopus. I'm obsessed with him because he's like this awesome movie that he has, and then it's just hilarious and corny, and the painting is funny, and I just like everything about it. I like sea creatures a lot. When
you're creating art, do you like listen to music or do you like silence? What gets you in that mode to be able to create? I shouldn't do this because speaking of my art teacher in high school, she always said you can't listen to music with words because it brings you over to your left brain. But I always watch movies. My husband's a film critic, Jimmy Martin, big movie mouth off. Give you a little prop there, babe. So we get free movies. They send us almost every single movie. Yeah. So, and even crap movies like stupid Lifetime movies, and I'll pop one of those in. And that will kind of inspire you, or it's just something kind of background noise? I just need noise all the time, like when I'm working or anything. I have to have headphones or something going on. If you could, let's say you had the opportunity to sell one of your paintings to anybody that you wanted, a famous person, somebody local. I mean, who would you really be stoked on that bought one of your paintings? Oh, David Bowie. It'd be awesome if he bought a Labyrinth. Would that be cool or what? Hell yeah. Just to even be able to say David Bowie bought one of David Bowie likes my art. Hope he hears this. Well, he is one of my He's listeners, pretty amazing. So whoever does have the Labyrinth, you should enjoy it because it's rad and I miss it. So, okay, I mean, backing up a little bit, I mean, you were into art. If you wouldn't have started doing what would you have just done other paintings, or do you think you would? I would still be plugging slowly along, like randomly doing murals for people here and there, But it wouldn't have probably exploded to this extent. No, because you can't really. The other stuff I do is all 100% custom. I don't. Yeah. I wish I could.
like I have a friend, Tony Polson, who he can just start doodling on a napkin and it becomes like something that you could rip out of a book. Like it's amazing. That's not really something I normally do. It's like, oh, give me a picture and I'll do a portrait, or what do you want on your wall and I'll do a mural.
You've done some paintings of like people's faces I've seen on your Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they're siblings or relatives or something.
The last one I did was my nephew.
And I mean, they blow me away. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever thought about just doing
I would
that,
like to do that, but I don't know how to, because you can't go to a festival and be like, you can't sell that, I can't sell a picture of my nephew to somebody else.
Yeah.
So there's no product. You can't really vend that way. It's kind of like you have to word of mouth it, which is much harder. So that's why on the back of my business card, I'm like, I also do this other stuff in case you're interested. But I find that the people who like the altered landscapes aren't really interested in the other kind of stuff and vice versa.
If, like, I know you don't, your art is kind of I don't know if you'd say part-time thing, but if you could be a full-time artist, would that be a dream of yours?
Well, yeah, I think any artist would think that, right? Wouldn't you love to be a full-time podcaster?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, as long as you keep enjoying it, sometimes when it becomes a full-time project, you begin to hate it, though.
Yeah, I think you've been through that with your eBay thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Who's your ideal podcaster?
My ideal podcaster as far as
guest, other than me?
That's a heavy question. I mean,
never thought about it
on a local level, or
let's do local and then just anybody living or dead.
Well, dead. I mean, the person I would have liked to have talked to the most was Johnny Cash. I think Johnny Cash. Ryan Adams, I mean, that's, he's one of my all-time favorite musicians.
He's really good.
I would love to sit down and really nitpick his brain. I don't hear enough interviews of his,
Maybe he's a shy guy.
Maybe. He is. He is. A local level, any Rocky Anderson, I think, would be an amazing person to talk to really get into the mind of what the heck is going on in your head, I mean, a great guy, but I mean, he's got some out there ideas, and so I think he would be an amazing as far as
you'll get there. I can see that happening level. Eventually.
Oh yeah, But so what when you're not painting? What are some other hobbies of yours that you like to do?
Well, as you know, karaoke. We're big fans of that.
What's your favorite song to sing when you karaoke?
Probably, I love doing Love Shack with Jimmy, and then on my own, just anything Eurythmics, Erasure 80s, anything 80s. Queen's my favorite band. So stuff like that. I love hanging out with my family and friends. I like dancing. I go to Zumba and I go to the gym and I don't know, just random stuff. I'm a house cleaner too, so I do that. Maybe one day I don't have to do that.
And you could do art full time.
Exactly. But I like cleaning as much as you can.
What do you like about cleaning? What?
There's something godly about creating order out of chaos. It's very, and then I get, like, if I came home and my house was spotless and I didn't have to lift a finger, I'd be super stoked. And I feel like that's what people enjoy about it. So,
and I wanted to bring something up here because I know a lot of people listening, they've kind of followed along with everything with Falcor. Mm-hmm. And I thought it would be interesting to bring up, you were actually the original person that I guess you would say found Falcor.
Yeah,
when he was Gizmo.
Yeah.
Share a little bit of, where did you find him? Share a little bit of that story. Because, I'm even interested myself.
Well,
I don't even know the whole story with that.
I just wanted to be, I want 2 dogs, and my husband's not into that. So I'm like, hey, here's a way around it. I'll just be a foster dog parent. And within 2 days, they're like, we have a dog that we pulled from a shelter, and we don't know what's wrong with him, but he can't walk right.
Who has a dog?
No More Homeless Pets.
No More Homeless Pets.
Sorry, that's where I went through. And so I met him, and like everyone, I fell in love with a little goober. And took him home, and you guys came over and fell in love with a little goober. Yeah, you couldn't resist adopting him. So,
and when you got him, I'm trying to even remember. The guy couldn't even walk.
No, he would. Yeah, he couldn't. He could barely walk. He had to be carried everywhere. He could not go up and down stairs.
Yeah,
he still has trouble with that, as you know, but he can actually do that now. He has good days and bad days. I think he's better in the summer. Yeah. But yeah, he would like poop on his side and he just fall over all the time. It was really, really sad.
And I remember the first time I brought him home, or we had him spend the night, and he shit all over his kennel, and I was just like, what the heck? But like you said, there's something about the dog that you fall in love with.
He's a lovable little freak.
So you're the do you say the godmother?
I'm the godmother.
The godmother of Falcor. And you recently did the fundraiser for Falcor.
Yeah, poor little guy. I don't know what was wrong with him. And
when he was recently ill.
Thank you, Salt Lake, for pitching in. You guys, Sue kept telling me, she's like, I had no idea. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
People love you guys and that dog, obviously. So thanks to everyone who pitched into that. He's doing better.
Salt Lake City is an amazing city like that they will kind of come together.
Yeah.
In a time, and it's weird. It's over a dog, of all
Well,
things.
I just feel like we're a big family here. Everyone's like super nice and cool, and like it's rare. I mean, other than traffic, it's rare that you meet someone who pisses you off.
Does the traffic here piss you off?
Yeah, it does. Probably because I'm a bad driver.
Have you been to LA lately? See, I just recently got back. I mean, I do not. I
guess you're right.
How anybody gets?
No, I'm not. I'm not so much about like sitting in traffic. It's just dumbasses who are dumb.
Yeah.
It's not so much like, oh, I'm stuck kind of thing. Like stop and go. Just people just don't blinker and they're assholes and they cut you off and they're stupid and they hit pedestrians all the time.
Yeah,
you know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I hit a pedestrian one time.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was probably about 18 years old, and I was down by Pioneer Park, and a homeless guy actually rode his bike in front of my car.
What?
And I didn't really realize what happened at first. Okay, and so all of a sudden I hear a loud bang, and it was at nighttime.
Oh my God.
And I was actually still living in Provo at the time. And I came down, some band was playing. And so I look in my rearview mirror and I see this guy sprawled out on the road with his bike.
Holy shit.
Your first instinct is to just drive away really fast and hope nobody saw it. But, you don't want to have a hit and run. So I stopped and the guy, he didn't speak good English. And he was pretty much trying to get money out of me, okay?
Was it like a scam?
That's what I think happened. So eventually I flagged down a police officer and he talked to him in Spanish. There was two of them. And I don't even think they got my ID, if I remember correctly. I mean, this was so many years ago. But, all the homeless people, they like to hang out down at Pioneer Park. And so I think if I remember correctly, they did say they like to jump in front of cars and then scam money out of the driver because they're so freaked out.
That doesn't seem worth it.
So that's my hitting a pedestrian story.
Well, see, you're one of us.
I'm a Salt Lake Cityan. So did you grow up here in Salt Lake then? I mean, have you lived here?
I pretty much did. We moved here when I was 6. I was born in Texas, was in California for like 2 years, and then we moved here. I pretty much say I grew up here because...
Do you remember any of Texas?
No, I don't at all. I remember a little bit of California, and then it's mostly everything here.
And did you go to did your family move to Utah County or right to Salt Lake City?
No, my parents still live in the same house we moved here in Cottonwood Heights.
Yeah.
And then when I moved out, I booked it downtown to Sugar House.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's where it's happening. The hood.
What's your favorite thing about living in Salt Lake?
I love how, especially where I live, I can pop on the freeway and get to my brother's house in Eagle Mountain in 35 minutes. Or I can, get anywhere really quick. I can run 17 errands in an hour because everything is just super convenient like that. And also, the local scene here is amazing. Amazing.
As far as the just local scene,
the support
as like crafts or
just anything,
or
just
doing your own thing,
restaurants or like Sue Shop or boutiques or painters or galleries or anything.
People are very supportive
very
of what
supportive.
you do.
I see all the time people are pushing the local thing and farmers market is all local. You have to be local to be in there. So I think that part is very strong here and I like it a lot.
Do you have any favorite local? I mean, I know some of your favorite local restaurants, but what are some of your favorite local?
Obviously, Frisch.
Yeah.
Our friends, the Cades, own Frisch.
Isn't it delicious food? I mean,
amazing.
Seriously, if you haven't eaten there, go there and eat.
It's so good and they're so nice and Rachel makes it with such love and she just is so sweet and you get addicted.
Yeah.
I have 63 check-ins there.
63 check-ins. Yeah. The sad part is if you would have checked in every time, you probably would have 560.
Probably, because I went there 7 times before they even opened just to be like, hey, how's it coming? Kind of thing. So yeah, Frisch, check it out. 8 South, 5th East. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
And obviously I like Sue's Shop. I'm sure you plug that every episode.
Sorry, Clementine, absolutely.
Sorry, Clementine.
Which isn't too far from Frisch either.
Yeah, it's also on 5th East and 360?
366 South, 500 East, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. And Blonde Grizzly Art Gallery, of course. I have to mention him. He sells my prints there. That's a really cool gallery. He showcases a lot of local art and national art as well. And he sells a lot of apparel. All of my paintings are hanging at Este Pizza in Sugar House.
Oh yeah. What's the address of that? Just so
I don't know the exact address. It's approximately 850 East and like
right off of 2100 South there.
2050 South. It's kind of hidden. They are moving into. They're not sure yet. They're probably going to move right around 9th and 21st. They're auditioning some buildings over there, but Este Pizza is very, very good pizza. And if you want to see my art in person, you can go check it out over there. They've been really good to me. I'm going to paint them a Ninja Turtle painting.
Do you sell your art at anywhere other local places or?
Like I said, Blonde Grizzly.
Oh, yeah, Blonde
I just
Grizzly.
did the art walk last month at Unhinged in Sugar House.
Do you sell your art there? No.
I've sold art there before, yeah.
Okay, but like people listening can't go there and see your art.
Not right now.
Not right now.
It's the kind of thing where it's like rotating. Right now, Chris Bodley's there. He's really good. He's also going to be at Blonde Grizzly. I think that's it for right now. I don't know.
Speaking of Chris Bodley, who are some of your favorite local artists?
He's really good. I just got to meet him yesterday. And Basie is really awesome. He does like the Panda propaganda. Actually, I have this jacket I wore. This Salt Cat. This is his new line.
Oh,
Isn't that
excellent.
awesome?
Excellent. That is really cool.
I know.
That is really cool.
So he has a bunch of stuff at Unhinged. JG Shelton is really good. I also really like Kat Palmer. Good stuff. She's a photographer.
Oh, I'm actually going to be interviewing her in a future episode here. So
right on.
Yeah, Kat. I was like, why does that name ring a bell? Oh, because I'm going to be interviewing her.
And I said before, Tony Polson. He's really, really good. I actually went to school with him. That's how I know him. He was in an art class with me.
He wasn't he doing? There was the Urban Arts Festival. He was in the booth next to you guys, right?
Yeah. He's actually doing a commission for Park City right now to do like their brochure or something.
Really?
It's really cool. Yeah, you should have him on the show.
I'll look him up.
And Lee Cade is amazing. Lee and Rachel Cade, who own Frisch, and they also make Grimleys, and you can see their Grimleys at their shop. He's one of my obviously favorite artists. And I don't know, there's so many. Nick Annette Miller, and I could go on and on.
So back to Salt Lake City. Say somebody was listening, or say somebody that you knew was visiting for the very first time. What is something you would tell them? You have to go check this out.
I always say, this was even before Blonde Grizzly was on 3rd South, but Broadway, 300 South is a really good walking district to check out because there's like antique shops, and you can pop into a bar. There's a couple bars there. Blonde Grizzly's there, and like boutiques, and there's a cute flower shop. Q Clothing is down there. Obviously, I'm going to say go to Sue's shop, sorry, Clementine, and go to Frisch, of course. 9th and 9th is a fun district, too.
Yeah.
And I just did the Sugar House Art Walk last night for the first time. And
did you do that?
It was really cool.
Oh, no, you didn't have your art there. You just
I had it last month.
You just went to
But
check
I actually
it out.
walked. Usually I just go to Unhinged and hang out and drink wine with Corey. But this time, me and Rachel actually walked around, and there's a lot of artists who have studios over there. I never realized.
Was it up in that like 11th East, 2100?
We know where they bulldozed that building.
Yeah, isn't that depressing?
It's right next door to it on the right.
That area, I have a hard time still going to that area just because it's so depressing.
I know, they need to hurry and build it up.
I miss the Blue Cats when it was on the corner there.
Oh, you remember Blue Cats?
With the heavy metal shop in there, and of course, Blue
that
Cats.
place was funky.
Yeah,
and that Freedom Speech Zone.
Yeah,
that was a fun little taste of hipsterness.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, be honest. I mean, if you would rather, sometimes people would rather. Is there something if you could change something about Salt Lake, what would you change?
Liquor laws.
Liquor law. I mean, honesty here. I
just think
honest.
it's stupid that you can buy beer in the store and you can't buy wine.
Yeah,
but you can buy wine to cook with. I realized, but that's probably disgusting wine.
They got cooking wine, huh?
Yeah, I realized that like 2 weeks ago. It's totally a wine, but it's for cooking.
So let's get a bottle and drink it.
And drink it? It probably tastes like piss.
I wonder if they card you for it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I just think the liquor laws are very stupid, and they do it to try to, I feel like, make conservative non-drinkers feel more safe, but really it's less safe. I heard a phrase that our liquor laws is a chug law.
What do you mean the chug law?
It's so instead of like, because they're so weird about the drinks here. You can't have 2 drinks at the same time unless you have someone with you, or you can't have a sidecar, or you can't have a shot with your drink.
Yeah. Or you have to order a meal before you can get a beer at a lot of places.
And so you just really just want to chug at home and then go out.
Yeah.
And then you're out and about all shit-faced, and it makes no sense. It makes way more sense to just have people responsibly drink rather than...
What upset me was when they took out like Mike's Hard Lemonade and stuff from the grocery stores.
I know.
I mean, I like a good Mike's Hard Lemonade from time to time.
I know, now you have to go to the liquor store for everything, and the Sugar House liquor store is such a dump.
And the biggest thing that pisses me off is that the beer isn't cold at the liquor stores. You know?
And you can't get real beer in the grocery store. I mean, the whole thing is just stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, the wine store used to be open till 10, and now it's only open until 7 for some unbeknownst reason.
Yeah.
It's just
well,
tomfoolery, the whole situation.
I mean, I was recently in California, and I mean, as you know, when you go out of state and you go into a liquor store, well, they don't really even call them liquor stores, really. They're just stores, you know. You feel like you've died and gone to heaven, but it's like, okay, there's some differences, but at least we have liquor here. I mean, you could still get drunk. You could still get drunk if you want. You could still go to bars. You could still go to.
I always said I want to try. Because there's so many times on a Sunday, I just really needed some wine and nothing. I couldn't get it, and I think. But
you plan ahead.
You plan ahead. But I think somebody would make a lot of money doing an underground, like having the standard.
One that probably is.
Yeah. If you are, will you secretly message me? And I'll pay you twice if I need to get my wine fix on Sunday or holiday. That's happened more often than I would like to admit. But yeah, you plan ahead. It's not too bad. It could be worse, like you're right. It could be worse, but that's the one thing I'd change.
Do you ever see yourself, I mean, if you could move from Salt Lake, is there like an ideal city that you would love to live in?
I love San Diego. My sister moved there a couple years ago, and I said if I wasn't in a relationship, I would have followed her.
Yeah.
So, but
what do you love about San Diego?
It's just the weather's beautiful. The people are rad.
Yeah.
Like she fits right in there, and they're just easygoing and sweet. The only thing that sucks is so expensive, but just like anywhere, if you can, if you want to be somewhere, you'll make it work. You'll fit in somewhere.
Yeah.
And I just love the beach. I wish I was by a beach. I need to be that. I could just sit there all day. Oh, sorry.
we have a guest, Flynn.
I have a Flynn with me.
Yeah.
He's kind of crazy. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, so, I mean, speaking of the beach, actually, I was just in California myself. And I mean, when I haven't been, I was down there last year. But that ocean air, I mean, there's something refreshing about it. Even if you're not directly by the beach, just the smell of it in the air.
Yeah.
I felt more alive. I don't know. I don't know if it's the altitude or what, but there is something nice about the beach. And I no dissing to Salt. I mean, I love Salt Lake, obviously, but it would be nice if we were by the beach.
Yeah, but we got those beautiful mountains.
Yeah.
And we can pop down to Lake Powell if we want. That's kind of like a beach, even though it's nasty water.
Yeah.
We'll just go to Seven Peaks instead and go in the wave pool.
What are you excited about for summer's right around the corner? I mean, what do you got? What's going
I'm hoping
on?
I get into farmer's market again. I was in it last year. That's nice.
When do you find out pretty quickly here?
Applications are closed. I think it's in the next couple weeks. So if I don't get into that, that'll be sad. I don't know why I wouldn't. If they liked me last year, unless they changed people.
How was that for you?
It was really good. It was rough waking up, but it's worth it. And
I remember that. I remember you struggling.
I slept in a couple times. That's the only thing I'm nervous about. But I got my footing. I got more organized, and I'm not as manic as I was.
The reaction, people seem to like you.
I never honestly was a huge fan of the altered landscapes. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was quirky and funny.
Yeah.
But I was just like, and then at farmer's market every single week, I would get positive affirmation from all of these people over and over. And I never a week went by where someone wasn't smiling or laughing and complimenting me and saying how much and so I was like, okay, all right, I guess this is pretty cool, So that actually turned me into a fan of myself, I guess.
And farmers market's going till 2 this year.
Yes, downtown, I actually voted for that because I'm like, we're here till 1:30 half the time anyway.
You get the stragglers.
Yeah.
What other events you got coming up? I mean, I know summertime's busy for you. I'm
going to be in Pride. That's the weekend before.
Oh, so you are going to do Pride?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Pride's rad. Yeah. I've been wanting to do it, and I wasn't sure because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be good. I just, I think it'd be fun, even just to hang out. I've never even been to Pride, which is silly. Probably because I've always been out of town or something. But other than that, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
And then Craft Lake City.
Craft Lake City, of course. Hopefully I get into that again, but I don't know what. Again, I've been there 3 times now. And it's kind of, obviously it's not favoritism because it's not like obviously I can go on my own merits anyways if I get into other festivals, but my husband does work there at Slug. So
yeah. I'm sure it helps.
I'm sure it helps. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
He's their film critic, so you should have him on the show.
I plan on. There's a lot, and I say that time and time again. I mean, there's a lot of people that I have in my head that it like yourself, you can't get to everybody. So, you know what I mean? There's so many people in this city that are doing awesome things.
Yeah, for sure.
But what's your all-time favorite movie?
I gotta say The Princess Bride.
That is a good movie.
That's a good one. It's weird I haven't done a painting of it yet.
You haven't done a painting?
No, I plan to. But.
Speaking of painting, and you tried T-shirts last year, right? Because I was always like, why don't you put your art on T-shirts?
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work out?
Well, they were ghetto. I did iron-ons.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing finding some company online or something and that I can possibly do it through and seeing if that works. But the people who... And it's hard to know. I mean, Sue knows that way better than me, so I'm able to kind of pick her brain a little bit. But
yeah.
It's hard to know what specific art someone would like on a shirt and then get it the right color and then get it the right size and get it right. It's kind of just, I'd rather just keep it as a print, honestly.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
A superpower?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like mine would be to read people's minds or
Ew, I would
something.
never want that.
You would never want that?
I don't know. I don't want to know what people are thinking of me.
Yeah.
I'd rather not know. It'd either be to fly or to stop time. I used to watch that show Out of This World, and I loved it.
Never even heard of that one.
Well, her dad was an alien. She put her fingers together and stopped time. Except the only drawback of that is that I'd stop time so much, I feel like I'd keep aging, and no one else would. And then all of a sudden, I'm 40 when everyone else is still 20. I would think about that. But I have dreams of flying all the time. I think that'd be fun.
What's a food that you would never eat, that Cat Martin would never eat, or that you refuse to eat, or that you hate to eat?
I don't know. Growing up with so many kids, we kind of
ate whatever.
Scavengers,
Yeah,
if you don't eat this, you don't get eat it all.
The mold on it.
Yeah, so I kind of am not picky at all in that respect. Maybe like tongue or something.
Tongue, like cow tongue?
Yeah, or something like that.
Menudo.
Or like heart or liver.
Menudo. Yeah, liver. I remember growing up and having to eat liver and being like, oh my gosh.
Vomitus maximus.
It's horrible. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm not a morning person, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping in at farmer's market. But yeah,
do you think you're more creative at night? Is that kind of what it is? Because that's how it is with me. I feel like nighttime rolls around, and that's when I start to feel inspired, and I start to feel like I can be the most creative. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I got to go to bed. I got to go for work.
No, I paint during the day. I never paint at night. I like having all that daylight come in. Mm-hmm. I don't have curtains in my windows. And then I sit in my studio, and it's usually when Jimmy's at work, and I just do my own thing. And then at night he comes home, and I want to spend time with him.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not really a morning person.
What do you miss most about being a kid?
Not having any responsibilities.
Yeah, that's probably the number one answer.
Taking your shirt off and running through the mud and not giving a shit.
Yeah.
Except when I was a kid, I was afraid a lot. I would sit in bed and think of scary movies or be afraid someone was under the bed or something.
Yeah.
I'd bolt up the stairs from a dark basement. I don't miss that part, but I do miss not being able to give a crap.
Yeah. So based off everything that we've talked about, what is one thing, or share something about yourself that people listening or people that know you wouldn't expect? Guilty pleasure, something about yourself, or maybe there's not. I don't know if
there is. I'm kind of one of those people who's kind of like, I am who I am.
You're an open book.
I am.
Yeah. That's one thing I like about you is you're honest with people. Sometimes
I'm too honest. I feel like I come off rude at some points, but I try to be as authentic as I can. I'm really, really bad at lying, so I just don't even bother.
Yeah.
I actually tricked Jimmy on the way here because
Yeah.
I never do this kind of thing because I'm so bad at it usually. But I forgot something, and I came back into the house. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this podcast. He's like, are you serious? I was like, I'm just not in the mood. I texted Chris. I'm not over it. He's like, are you really serious? I'm like, of course not. I just had to get my keys. He was like, damn, that was convincing. So yeah, but I don't know. I am who I am. If you see me spazzing out and dancing, I'm likely doing that on my own.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You definitely have a lot of energy.
That's yeah.
To put if I was to label Cat Martin with one word, it would be energy.
Spaz. I've been called spaz a lot.
Spaz.
It's good. I like it. I get a lot of stuff done in my day.
Yeah. So, kind of to wrap things up, I mean, you got hopefully Farmers Market coming up. People can get your prints at Estee in Sugar House.
All my originals are at Estee.
Okay, and your website is artist Cat Martin, right?
CatMartinArtist.com.
Cat Martin, which I'll link on the IamSaltLake.com show notes for this episode.
And then I have an Etsy shop.
Your Etsy shop.
Cat's Art on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm actually going to do some giveaways coming up. I have I found some old magnets that I don't want anymore. I used to make magnets, and it's such a pain. It's not worth it.
I need magnets for my fridge.
And then I have some kind of I I have this big Transformers print that it was a mess up. It was too cropped for the person. I had to redo it. So when I do that, I'll let you know and you can pop that on your whatever.
Okay. And then you do Instagram. You're on Instagram.
Of course, Instagram. I'm a big believer in keeping your art Instagram and your personal Instagram separate. And I don't know, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I can't stand it when an artist doesn't post any art. So I used to post random, like more like, oh, my day-to-day life, and blah, 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 and I really try to keep it to just what I'm working on.
Yeah.
And then if I, like Sue's the same way. She has a Sorry Clementine, and then she has her personal one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I feel like I want to follow another artist, because I want to see your art. I don't really need to see another selfie.
But don't you think it's nice to know a little bit about the personal side of somebody? So what if you don't, what if you follow the, like say somebody was to follow your art? I mean, so you're telling me you have 2 Instagrams in?
No. I just have the one.
You just have the one.
When it started, I mean, when I first started on Instagram, I'd post a lot of personal stuff and a lot. But
and you don't think people that love your art appreciate that?
I just don't think it should be mostly that.
Yeah.
I do have other stuff, of course. You know, on Jimmy's birthday, I posted a picture of us, but there's people I go to follow and they're like, I'm an artist. I'm like, really? There's no art on here. It's just a bunch of pictures of you.
Yeah.
That bugs me. That kind of thing. But yeah, I'm totally fine with like, there's actually an artist I really like on Instagram. He goes by The Trans Am, and he does like iPad paintings of like, what is it? Superheroes and stuff, like Iron Man. And he's really, really good. And one time he posted a picture of himself. I'm like, oh, that's cool to see the person behind.
So maybe an occasional
painting.
Photo.
Yeah.
Of, like I'll get people all the time, even with this, are like, I want to know more about you. You're always talking to other people and whatnot. And so it's like, okay, I'll include a little bit about my
I'm fine with that. Of course.
Yeah.
It's good to know. Like I said, I just barely got to meet Chris Bodley and Basie, and I was like, oh, let's put a face to a painting. That's cool to see who's behind it. So, but the whole reason I'm even online with any of my art, because I like using it as a tool to promote and to network and to find other artists and things like that. That's the main reason I like doing it.
And I think most people that like, I'll talk to people all the time, like even about Facebook, and they're like, oh, Facebook's stupid and stuff. I think when you have a purpose, it makes it a little bit more.
It's free advertising.
Absolutely.
It makes you money. I mean, I can't turn it down. And, I think everyone's the same way with social media. It's like instant gratification.
Yeah.
Hey, I did this. And someone's like, hey, I like that you did that. I like it too. It's really rewarding.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, you know that. You have like 10,000 Twitter followers.
I keep plugging away at it. For some people, for some reason, people find what I do interesting. I don't know why, but...
You're funny.
Well, I try to be. I could be funnier, I guess. But,
we could all be something.
Yeah. Anything else you want to plug? I mean, feel free. I mean, even your husband's stuff. I mean, feel free to talk.
Jeez, Jimmy.
He's got so much stuff.
Yeah, Jimmy is, like I said, a film critic for Slug Magazine, and then he has a local TV show that's on Comcast and on Channel 6 called Big Movie Mouth Off, where him and Jeff Weiss, who works for MSN.com, and he also is...
Which is another person I have in my head. So if you're listening,
just have
Jeff,
them together.
Yeah, that would actually probably be
hilarious.
Pretty humorous to get the both of them, and we just sit and talk about movies. And...
So they do a film critic review show, and they film it at Broovies, which is a local... restaurant that also has a movie theater and a bar in it. So that's rad.
Which I love. You could take a beer in there and watch a movie. I love it.
It's awesome. And they are actually doing Geek Show podcast today.
Oh, today's a Geek Show day.
Geek Show's today. That's where he is right now. So we're both on a podcast right now. It's hilarious. So that's all things geek. And Carrie Jackson, our Radio from Hell, runs that. So yeah, we're all involved in the local scene. Yeah. We're quite intertwined with you people.
small lakes. Anything else you want to mention? We'll get all the links up on, like I said, on the website. That way people can get in touch with you. They can get your prints, because you have originals as well as prints. So people that
obviously the prints are more affordable than the originals, but
which I got to say, I mean they're pretty much. I mean they're as good as the originals in my opinion. I mean I'd rather have a Cap Martin original, but
not everyone can afford it. I'd like to be able to offer something for $5 if you want. Yeah, that's nice. But all the prints at Blonde Grizzly, I have a small, medium, large, and I have a couple prints at Estee, but they're framed. They're all $30, and then all the originals are over there. And then I have some more stuff by my house. If there's any people listening and you want my art in your shop, I'd rather have it in your shop than hang it sitting in my garage.
Yeah.
Because Estee's full, and then I still have more paintings at home. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I sold a lot of stuff at Frisch too. I hung my stuff there for a little while. So, and then, I think we do like a 20% commission. So they've made a couple $100 off of me.
Yeah.
But they're just going to give it back to me for their Ninja Turtle painting. So that works. But yeah, I think I mentioned everyone.
Yeah.
Support local.
Support local. Keep it in Utah. That's what I always say. Well, I appreciate it. I know it's not always easy, especially, to come and sit and everybody likes to talk about themselves, but it's still, it's.
I like this. You asked some different questions.
I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate you.
You're a good
on.
interviewer, Christopher.
Thank you very much. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up here?
I don't know. Spay and neuter your pets. Be kind to each other.
Be kind to each other. I like it. We'll end there. Thank you very much, Kat Martin, for coming on the show.
Thanks,
and
Chris.
like I said, I'll put all the links on the IamSaltLake.com website. Many thanks goes out to Kat Martin for coming and sitting down and sharing her story with the rest of the I Am Salt Lake podcast listeners. Again, her website is katmartinartist.com. Go check out the website. Check out her art. I put the show notes, or put the links on the show notes for episode 59. That way you can get in touch with her Facebook and Etsy and Twitter and all that good stuff to keep in touch with her and follow her and get some of her art. Really, really great person doing some really cool things in Salt Lake City here. And like I said, or like we mentioned in the interview, she's going to be out and about this summer at some different festivals. So make sure to check her out and let her know you heard her on the podcast. Really quickly, a few ways you can help out the show. First of all, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm on twitter.com/IamSaltLake. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/IamSaltLake. And feel free to share or retweet any of the posts. Share the episodes with your family and friends. You can leave us a review in iTunes. That really helps boost our ratings, as well as giving a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio if that is your preferred method of listening to the show. Also, there is a donate button on the IamSaltLake.com website that you can kick on over $1 or $2. It really helps keep the podcast going, helps with the website, helps with the audio hosting, just helps keep the project moving forward. And thank you very much to all of you that have donated. Also, you're going to notice a link on the website for Zag. If you are familiar with any Zag products for your iPhone, your iPad, and you do any purchasing through Zag, click that link on the website, and they kick over a few cents for every purchase that is made going through that link. And they're a really great local company here in Salt Lake City. For those of you that aren't familiar with Zag or are familiar, they're a really cool local company here in Salt Lake City that I am happy to be supporting and happy to have supporters of the I Am Salt Lake podcast. I think that's going to do it. Like I said, I'm going to end the show playing a song, I Bought a Rope, by John Ross Boyce and His Troubles, a great band from down in Utah County. And I think that's going to about do it. I will be back midweek with another episode showcasing somebody else doing some really cool stuff here in Salt Lake City. This is John Ross Boyce and His Troubles.
Get it right. Please disperse the darkness, babe. The comes from simple